Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the second day of the presentation and critique day. I'm Dexter, and I'm one of the volunteers with IterateUX, and I'm excited to kick off the second day of the presentation. For those who you may be the first time joining the design challenge or event at IterateUX, we are an open Discord community that helps UX designers to learn, connect, and grow in their careers. People of all levels are welcomed to join. We host weekly events and coffee chat sessions with community, with speakers who share their experience and expertise on various topics. We also host feedback sessions for your design portfolios and resume. And we are looking forward to host more design and whiteboard challenges. Today is the second day of presentation and critique day. We have Team 7 and Team 24 to present. Team 7 will go first, and we will have 20 minutes to present and 10 minutes feedback from our mentor today, N.Slater, who is the UX manager at IterateUX Solutions. And Team 24 will go next. Again, 20 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for the feedback by N.Slater as well. So thank you so much, N.Slater, for joining this workshop and for giving us insights and how we can take the presentation to the next level. Today is the second day. We will have the final day of the presentation tomorrow. We also have the wrap-up party for the UX Design Challenge on next Tuesday, September 28th. Also, we have another event on October 12th about transitioning from graphic design to UX. So save this day on your calendar and keep an eye on our Discord announcement channel to keep up with what is happening in IterateUX. If you like what we do in IterateUX, please support us by sending us a donation. All of us here are volunteers, so every donation you make goes back to the community. So before we begin, here are some friendly reminders. Please mute yourself once the presentation begins. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to use the chat. And if you want to keep up with IterateUX, please follow our social media channel and Discord channel. And yeah, that's all from me. And now we will have Team 7 to start their presentation. And Team 7, you may now start sharing your screen and enjoy the presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Can we start?
Yeah.
Thank you. Avandra, a safe community for female solo travelers to share safe, affordable trip plans. Hello, everyone. Sorry? Hello?
Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay. We are glad to be part of the final presentation of the IterateUX Challenge. We are Ian, Sam, Angie, and Lauren from Team 7. The tools that we choose to use for this project were Notion for sprint planning and task management, Figma for whiteboarding, design and prototype, Zoom for team meetings, user interviews and usability testing, and Discord as the main channel of our communication. Next slide, please. Yeah. Our first team challenge was deciding which prompt to work on. We made a list of pros and cons for each option on Jamboard and then had a Zoom meeting to discuss and vote. We chose the prompts based on available research and design resources, potential roadblocks, and learning experience of the challenge. So in the end, we chose to design a platform for solo travelers to connect with each other, exchange information, and find fellow travelers. We started our work by doing research. As you can see in this slide, we did 4 research activities during this phase. To make sure that we fully empathize with the user, we decided to do triangulation, which means collecting information about the users from various resources. So we researched existing knowledge as a secondary research. We had a chat with some users by doing users interview, and we asked the larger audience about their needs and their challenges through a survey. We also checked out our top competitors to find ways to stand out and solve user problems better. Our secondary research uncovered some key insights, like solo travel went up 23% during COVID-19. About 84% of solo travelers are women, while men make up only 16%. In the USA, 72% of women have traveled solo and 79% will do it again. So our findings clearly indicate a growing interest in solo travel among women. Moreover, female solo travelers encounter unique challenges, particularly related to their safety. This is why we have chosen to concentrate our efforts on empowering and supporting female solo travelers. So we analyzed 6 competitors in terms of strength, weakness, threats, opportunities, main user segment, main value proposition, interesting design solution, and business model. Some of our key findings from competitive analysis were: safety is the top concern for apps serving female solo travelers, often through passport verification. However, asking for too much information upfront can discourage first-time users. And the 2 main selling points of these apps are providing affordable deals and facilitating connection with each other. Next, we conducted user interviews to understand our target users better. We first sent out a survey to screen potential interviews. We interviewed 5 financially independent college-educated women who had experience in solo traveling, and we used the script to conduct semi-structured interviews with each interview lasting around 30 minutes on Zoom. Some of our findings from these user interviews were: most of them researched online before their trips. Safety was a big concern. They liked connecting with fellow solo travelers for chats or advice while staying anonymous. Chatting was their favorite way to communicate, and they wanted more information on transportation and accommodation before traveling. To validate our findings of the qualitative research, we made a Google Form survey using our initial findings to find out more about the larger audience. So we got 49 responses. Some of the key findings from these responses were: around 73% of females had as their main concern while traveling solo safety and harassment. The main reason that motivated them to travel solo was the flexible schedule and personal independence. 63% stated research as their primary safety measure before traveling. After completing our secondary research, user interviews, and survey, we placed our findings on a canvas and began organizing them using affinity mapping. We grouped our findings into these main categories: demographics, travel habits, like destinations, favorite activities, motivation for solo travel. Why do they go solo in solo travel? What motivates them for such experience? Challenges, like safety, navigation, isolation, etc. Needs, and current situation that they use to solve their problems. From our research, we created a primary persona. Meet Jordan, a 31-year-old project manager in New York. Jordan's top goals are safe yet adventurous travel, accessing up-to-date information about destination, ensuring destination safety before trip, budget-friendly trip planning. Her main concerns include safety, fear of getting lost, fear of feeling isolated, accommodation issues, health concerns, language barriers. After the research, we move forward to the define phase. To prioritize user pain points, we used an impact effort matrix. So we check the impact using quantitative data, understanding how much difference each pain point will make into the final solution, and the effort, considering, will it take a lot of work and time, or is something that can be done like really quick and simple? Due to the time constraint we had for the challenge and the high impact they had on the matrix, we chose to follow points, these pain points to focus: safety, financial constraints, and feeling isolated. After selecting our key pain points, we crafted our point of view statement using this structure. Who is the user? What do they need? And what's the story and the problems they are dealing with? Finally, we defined our point of view statement. As a young woman who likes to travel solo, I need to have access to the most updated information about my destination so I can plan a safe and affordable trip for myself. For more, check out the following slides with my teammate Sam.
Thank you, Angie. To smoothly shift from the define phase to ideation, we generated 34 how might we questions, such as how might we verify the destination information's accuracy? How might we ensure Jordan, our persona, enjoys her trip without any negative experiences? How might we assist Jordan in emergencies? After drafting how might we questions, each team member brainstormed ideas, resulting in over 20 unique ideas. That's how we started the ideation phase. So how did we choose the final idea? This was the most important step in the process. We had to make sure that we were going in the right direction. To do so, each team member picked their favorite idea. We backed these choices with research data. We designed lo-fi wireframes to communicate our ideas better, and we held a Q&A session to clear any doubts. To pick the final idea, we followed these steps. We defined 7 acceptance criteria to rate each idea from 1 to 10. No one rated their idea. To minimize bias, we kept the process anonymous, and the idea with the highest average score was chosen as the winner. Here are the acceptance criteria. Does it solve the challenge prompt? How much does it solve the user pain points? How much does it address the POV statement? How much is it supported by the research data? Is the design effort of it within the scope of this project? Is it a scalable design solution that can help a huge user base? Does it offer great value in comparison to other competitors? Now my teammate Yan will take you through our design solution.
Yes, thank you, Sam. Our design solution is as follows: a social media app for women or men to share and find safe, affordable trip plans. Our solution aims to assist users in 4 key ways. The first, providing access to latest travel information. Second, identify safe travel destinations. The third, enhancing travel experience with budget constraints. The first, helping users from different cultures and backgrounds. We envisioned a few design solutions for each section, which will be in the upcoming slides. Following that, we craft our value proposition. We help female solo travelers find safe, affordable trip plans by offering a social media app where they can share and find the most updated information about various trip plans. We made a mood board to choose app's visual style. We brainstormed app name and chose Avenger, inspired by Greek goddess of travel, adventure, and luck, she who makes a pies. We develop an information architecture to ensure a structured and user-friendly interface, promoting goal achievement. We create low-fidelity wireframes, iterated, and then transform them to mid-fidelity prototype for usability testing. And we run remote usability testing with 5 participants and then prioritize their feedback based on the potential value and effort required for each change. We compiled a list of necessary changes following our usability test, where we made numerous adjustments based on the results. Here are a couple of examples. The first, we redesigned and reorganized some homepage icons for clarity. And second, on the Explore page, we merged nearby paths with trading paths to help users discover a best routes nearby. And to maintain design consistency, we adopt the Orbit design system tailored for travel app. We ensure its compliance with WCAG2 and APC accessibility guidelines. We also align our design system with our choice to develop a native iOS app. And Sam will take you through the preview of our app.
Thank you, Yan. So here's the overall structure of the app, which includes a bottom navigation bar with 4 main pages. Homepage, in which users can view and share travel experiences in posts, or what we call it, paths. Explore page, where users can search for locations, trending paths, nearby paths, and user profiles. Save page, where users store favorite paths in various categories. And the profile page. The primary CTA on the navigation bar is creating a new post, or what we call it, a new path. You can see the main features of the app here. In line with our POV statement, we aim to provide users with the latest trip information. When users click on a post, they'll find tags explaining 4 main aspects of each path. 1. Path type. For example, art and museum, shopping, nature spots, journal paths, etc. 2. Safety rating from women's perspective. 3. Budget range. And 4. Trip duration. When you scroll down, you can see places visited and a map view of the entire path. Clicking on a place opens a modal that shows a review, safety rating, budget info, and users who have recommended this place. This ensures female solo travelers have access to the most up-to-date information about their trip destination. Safety is vital for female solo travelers. To keep our community safe, we also believe in the approach of our competitors about account verification, including uploading an ID and a selfie. But unlike our competitors, we don't ask for this sensitive information upfront. Upon initial app installation, users can explore the app without any signing up or verification process. They would have limited access to the different parts of the app, but at least they can make an informed decision whether or not to go through the account verification process. Our safety rating tag further helps users to get information about their destination safety. That's our safety strategy. Aligned with our POV statement, affordability is another crucial concern for female solo travelers. Users can check trip budgets via post tags and estimated expenses in place models, helping them choose budget-friendly paths. These features empower users to select paths that fit their budget. We envision various accessibility features to make sure that our design benefits a range of users. Apart from ensuring that the color contrast of the app complies with the accessibility guidelines, supporting different languages, different currencies, and wheelchair accessible paths are other features to ensure the accessibility of our solution. Due to time constraints preventing a second round of usability tests, we opted for a heuristic evaluation using an online tool called heurix.io. Our design received an impressive 85% overall score, indicating that nearly all important UX elements were effectively implemented and functioning. We thoroughly researched the feasibility of our solution and whether or not it can be built with Swift UI. We also consulted with an app developer. We faced some small technical issues. For example, we had imagined a swipe left or right gesture for some models, and we had to iterate on our design to make it feasible. Despite some minor concerns, we're confident that our design solution is overall feasible. We believe the reason that we managed to do so much quality work in a short period of time are the following. effective communication, team collaboration, task management, and implementing the right processes and workflows. Our next steps include conducting a second round of testing through unmoderated usability testing with a tool called Maze, making the design responsive and accessible for different mobile screens, measuring the success of the solution using metrics such as time on task, time per session, user satisfaction rate, and single lease question. Taking part in this challenge was truly fulfilling for our team, and we enjoyed the experience a lot. We hope you found our presentation enjoyable as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Team 7. Thank you for your presentation. And now we will have feedback from Slater for 10 minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, this was great. Thank you for walking me through that. I have a lot of questions. I think just first off, right off the bat, great presentation. Very well put together, very easy to understand, and just well designed. Everything just feels very tight and put together in a way that clearly you understand like the concepts of white space and keeping it to where a user only sees the things they need to interact with. So I guess my first question is, did you all create like the app icon and the branding and all of that? It feels like you did, but I didn't get a clear like understanding on that one.
Yeah, we did. So we held another brainstorming session when we were doing the design work with the mood boards. We had a list of different names and different icons, and we came together and agreed on just the overall feel and branding of the app.
Awesome. Yeah, I wouldn't skip on that. I would talk about it very briefly, but I would just say like, and we created this entire, like we didn't piggyback on a different app. We created the entire thing, and just briefly talk about that because an employer would be, interested in the fact, because a lot of times when I look at portfolios, I just assume icons were not created by someone or the colors were not created by you. Like I would just very briefly touch on that just so that, you show all your cards to your interviewee. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. With the paths thing, I think we need to talk about this more. So I was confused about whether or not they were like excursions or like actual paths because they were wheelchair accessible, or also like a journey trip, like a itinerary. Like I'm just a little confused on what paths are.
Yeah, so paths are essentially a user would go on a trip and then they'll sort of like log the different places that they've been, and then that creates the general path. So in that path you have where you've been, and then in those where you've been places is where you can leave recommendations, you can rate the safety, etc. And then other people can click on those paths. You can save the paths. So it's kind of like a scrapbook, if you will, of places that you've been and that you can share with other people.
I would talk about in like your next steps, like how do you incentivize a user doing that? Like, why would I do that? I don't know. If you don't have people filling that out, you kind of have a feature that's going to be empty. So as a user, why would I fill out a path? I would do it because I get a trophy, or I get a reason, like a little dopamine boost of like, I help someone else succeed in life. And so
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I didn't see any next steps about that, but I would be concerned that it would be a feature that no one would get any value out of adding, but would get value out of using.
Yeah, so we did have some users who, like, when we were interviewing them, they talked more about how they don't share as much when they go on trips, but they use other people's recommendations. So even if you're not, I guess, creating a path, there's spaces for you to, save other people's paths and kind of like follow along their journey. So you don't necessarily have to do that part, but it's there, obviously. So
I mean, how is it there? Like, how are you getting that data if people aren't adding it?
Oh, I'm saying that there can be a mix of both, but I understand where you're saying that you would need the initial incentivization to want to do it in the first place.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I will note that like in Google reviews, like I added one review to this one place I really liked, and now it pops up and is like, you're so popular. You have like 7,000 views on this one review. And that makes me want to review more. So something like that could be handy here. I have some scribbly notes, so I have to read my own writing. So can we talk about the security thing? So whenever they log in or when they create an account, they upload a picture of their ID of some kind. There you go. I would add copy here that's like, this is for your safety. This is so like we know your gender. I would also be a little more inclusive about it. So I would probably say you identify as female, not necessarily you are female. I'm sure this has come up, but I would bet that folks that identify as female would want to use this as well, just because they have a whole nother level of safety issues as it relates to trans. So I would probably put something like that in the verbiage opposed to female. It's just it's a tough place to be these days. So I would just think about that and have an answer about it, because some interviewees might ask about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then the ID thing could be tricky, right? Like maybe their ID still says their dead gender, essentially.
Sure.
And so that would be like a next step, like how do we handle the inclusion of folks that identify as female? And then I would probably add in here, like take a selfie with your ID. I would just add another, like, this is for your security, not like for you to use. Cause I got a little confused about like, am I supposed to use this as my profile photo? But then like I put together that the ID was in the frame, kind of like a newspaper, kind of like proving the date of a person. So I might be a little more clear about, like, you say it at the bottom, like we'll delete these pictures, but I might add some little info icon at the top that's like, this, the reason we ask for this is for this exact purpose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
And then just slides I would update for like an interview. I would probably take out like the word challenge and stuff like that. I would just put like, this is a case study that I did with a group of this size for this long. I would make sure you mention how many people you worked with and how long the project took, just because as a hiring manager, I like to know that it had a deadline and that you worked with other designers, which is super. You did add the developer thing at the end, which was nice. But I would add like your size of your team and how you contributed. So each of you would make your own deck with your own little slide that says like, this is how I contributed to this project. Because I am tempted as a person who is interviewed to say, we did this together, which is great. That shows that I'm a team player, but also I want to know what you particularly did. Just because some folks will rely on other people's designs. And so I want to make sure that you get very clear on how you helped with this project individually for the whole team. I don't have a timer on, so I don't know how long I've got. But
Yes, you got 2 minutes left.
okay, thank you. Everything else looks really good. I really liked the walkthrough of each, like how we addressed each of our top priorities. So like the safety slide and the accessibility slide. Yeah, and the affordability. I would say, oh, I lost my thought. Oh, problem statement. I got a little lost on the problem statement because it wasn't like directly said. It was like, this is the where we started. And I would just be very clear on like, as a traveler that identifies as female, I want to have these items, mostly because I want, as a hiring manager, to know that you can write a problem statement. And I know that you are very pinpoint sharp on your problem statement. I just want to make sure that you actually understand that and didn't accidentally end up there, which I don't think is true. I just would be very clear and concise on like, this is exactly the problem we were shooting for to solve for V1. And the next steps were great. I really liked those. I would also put in around like, if I were to do it again, these are the things I would do differently. That's a question I ask a lot of, like, if you could start over knowing everything you know now, what is a thing that you would do differently? And it's a good kind of tell of like what you learned from it. So what are your takeaways? So next steps and takeaways are kind of separate things.
Got it.
Very good though. You should be, y'all should all be very proud of what you've presented here.
Thank you so much for your feedback.
Absolutely.
Okay, awesome, Team 7, and thank you for presenting your work. And thank you so much, Slater, for the feedback. And now we are going to have Team 24 to present. Okay, and Team 24, you may start sharing your screen and enjoy the presentation.
Hello, everyone. We're Team 27, and we picked the e-commerce industry and designed a one-stop shopping assistant app. It was Happy, Hugo, Haley, and myself, Weber. We worked on this together, and we're very happy that Rodrigo is here to support us. He's our very awesome mentor. Today, me, Happy, and Haley are going to walk you through our presentation. Let's see how you like it.
Next slide, please. So our answer to the prompt was to design an e-commerce app called Remedy, which aims to simplify the healthcare shopping experience for American immigrants. And why did we choose healthcare? After looking up different types of e-commerce, we decided to focus on the healthcare marketplace. We felt there was an opportunity for a one-stop shopping app to support people who may have difficulty shopping for health products because they're sick, are busy with doctor appointments, and or need to feel better immediately. Now on to our design process for creating Remedy.
It's stuck on the screen. It's stuck on the second slide.
I've already moved it. But
Okay, sorry, everyone. In the research phase, we brainstormed to narrow down our target audience in secondary research, user interviews, and affinity mapping to better empathize with them. We brainstormed with the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why, to get a better understanding of the potential problem and who it would relate to. We decided to narrow down to this demographic, American immigrants, as it resonates deeply with each of us, stemming from our shared experiences as individuals from immigrant backgrounds.
Hi, Bobby, it's still stuck.
it's stuck, yeah. I'm already on the other slide.
Okay. Well, anyways, we conducted competitive analysis and compared 9 healthcare platforms to understand their unique selling point, target audience, weaknesses, and gain inspiration. We also conducted secondary research. This gave us a few important insights. For example, American immigrants have less access to healthcare, so they may rely on over-the-counter medication more, and they may often self-medicate. And this signaled to our team that there may be a great opportunity to build an e-commerce platform to support the needs of American immigrants.
So we conducted interviews with 6 users over video call. We wanted to identify the barriers that prevent immigrants from accessing healthcare products, determine the criteria users are looking for when choosing for medical products, and understand the end-to-end process of how immigrants shop for their needs, for the healthcare needs. So each interview took about 20 to 30 minutes for us.
Based on our interview insights, we created 4 affinity maps to develop a stronger sense of empathy towards our users. We wanted to learn from each team member's process of organizing information to get a varied set of key insights. Some of the insights we discovered were that users find complex medical information confusing, feel a lack of confidence when shopping for healthcare needs, and want convenience, affordability, and accessibility.
In our analysis, we discovered a strong pattern. Users require a substantial amount of information when buying healthcare products. However, the available information often is not accessible. For example, the medication, drug facts, and instructions are only available in English and printed in a very small font. This leaves users feeling uncertain about what to buy, so they turn towards expert advice like pharmacists to guide them through the purchasing process. They also read online user reviews to understand how a product works. Lastly, users heavily favor affordable products and seek quick access to information that supports them on their purchasing journey.
After understanding our users better, we were able to define the problem, how might we statement, user personas, and value proposition. Through our user research, we found that our problem is medical information is currently too complex and inaccessible for users to understand when shopping for healthcare products. So by making complex medical information accessible and understandable, we will alleviate uncertainty and build confidence for American immigrants who lack medical literacy. And we will know this is true when we see an increase in engagement, such as clicking certain sections and time taken for a task, conversion, such as making a purchase, and satisfaction through an NPS or net satisfaction score. And just a note that some of these success metrics aren't testable with our current prototype, but we wanted to define our success metrics here to have our business goals in mind as well.
Our final how might we encourage American immigrants who lack medical literacy to be more confident and alleviate the uncertainty when shopping and comparing healthcare products?
Haley, you're muted.
Oh, so sorry. We defined 3 personas based off our interviews and their experiences while shopping for healthcare. Persona 1 is the ASAP shopper. They want what they need fast and usually just when symptoms appear. Persona 2 is the family shopper. They are the ones with the primary motivation of buying for others. Persona 3 is a prevention first shopper. They maintain their health, so they shop often and buy the same products frequently.
So the team created a value proposition canvas to discover the real needs and problems of the target audience, ensuring the creation of a service or a product that our users truly want.
After we defined our focus towards simplifying medical information, we began brainstorming to generate possible solutions. We started the ideation phase by doing another set of how might we exercises. We broadly developed ideas that solved the user pain points we found in our research.
We prioritized features that are must-have, nice to have, and delightful based on their impact on the product and efforts of the team.
After our initial brainstorming, we conducted a quick card sort with 10 participants. This helped us organize our information architecture. Then we used the card sort results to guide us while building a sitemap. We prioritized 4 main navigations to promote a simple and intuitive user flow, which were discover, search, orders, and account.
Then we each drafted quick sketches to brainstorm potential layouts and see how some features would look. And then we basically got together and voted on which features we liked the most and thought would impact the most.
And after sketching out our ideas, we created mid-fidelity wireframes together for the user searching, comparing, and getting help. We drafted these quickly to get ready for our usability tests.
With the testing and prototyping phase, we wanted to find the best possible solution for our identified problems and build solutions that empathize with our users. We conducted a quick usability test with 5 participants. We wanted to know how our users feel and what their mental models are when shopping and comparing healthcare products. The major insight that came up was that users had difficulty finding the chatbot, which was in the left bottom of the screen across our flow. And we thought maybe we need to guide the users better to get to this feature, since it's one of our major solutions. Also, we understood that our users wanted to compare similar products while they were shopping, and some users did not trust the remedy recommended tag label on our product cards, which meant that our service was promoting this product. And we use this feedback to improve the design in our next iteration.
Bobby, can you move to the Polaris slide?
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's just.
Okay. So we selected the Polaris design system because it has a strong focus on e-commerce, accessibility, and user-centered design.
We know from research that users rely on other people's experiences with a product to assess its quality. They do this by reading through a lot of online product reviews. That's why we designed Overall Pick. This feature helps users be more confident because they get a recommendation for a product beyond the data they can see. Normally, they can only see product reviews, but there's a lot more data that we can leverage to increase their confidence in their purchase. For example, total items sold, return rate, and repurchase rate.
The strongest pattern we observed from our research is that users heavily rely on expert advice, such as pharmacists, to guide them through their purchase. But pharmacists are not always available. That's why we designed an AI chatbot that will guide users with tailored guidance instead of expecting them to figure out what they need by themselves. The flexibility of the AI will allow product to support our users in a wide variety of contexts, such as when purchasing for a family member or simply finding a cheaper alternative. We displayed the most important questions directly on the product page for easy access to information about the medication. The AI chatbot is there to remove any further questions or problems that the users may run into.
Here are some of the iterations we made on our hi-fi frames. We included a toggle to change the language because we noticed that many of our users wanted more language options. We increased the discoverability of the chatbot by placing it at the top of the user's Discover page. We made information more accessible and had an Add to Cart button for easy and quick shopping. We also created Shop by Symptom and Shop by Categories for users that just wanted to look through and pick out what symptom they were feeling.
We also created recommended product cards to increase user confidence, added a section for quantity, added tags to communicate the item's purpose, and review tags to allow users to scan products easily. And we also created an easily scannable description with icons so that our users can quickly understand the product. And here is our prototype for our Discover page, product page, and AI chatbot page. By Bobby, if you can move to the next slide. But our Discover page gives us a personalized feed for the user. The product page allows the user to learn more about the product and purchase, and the AI chatbot gives the user any information that they need.
I'm sorry, are
Wait,
we still on the same page?
We didn't see the prototype page. And now on to what we learned. As a team, we learned the importance of teamwork and how it could lead to innovation and success. Working with a design system and maintaining consistency across the platform, and effective collaboration achieved through open communication and active listening. I personally learned to trust my team as they effectively guided me through the design process in areas where I'm not proficient.
If we had some more time, we would like to conduct further usability tests on the high fidelity wireframes to validate our design decisions and show us any potential remaining pain points, fully design out all pages and features on the app, and incorporate more features that make shopping for your family easier. Include more language options for accessibility.
We also wanted to thank our mentor Rodrigo for all the support and guidance that he provided for us, and also thank the IterateUX team for organizing this challenge. This was an amazing learning experience, and we all feel very proud of our team. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sorry for all the technical issues.
No worries. Thank you,
Yes.
So we will have 10 minutes feedback from N.Slater.
Awesome. Thanks, y'all. So first and foremost, I cannot tell you how often I interview people and they have presentation problems. So this is great practice. I think you did a good job at just keeping going and not letting it bother you. That is how it goes. Like I'm not kidding. Like that is the hardest part of interviews these days, is the share of screen and how the presentation works. A lot of times they'll just send me the presentation and I'll follow them in Google Slides, which I think this is what this is, maybe. But yeah, I would not let it get you down. You did a nice job at just kind of keep going. Let's see, where do I want to start? I think that since this is the screen I'm looking at, whenever you do show this in an interview, I would ask before you start, and I know this is a presentation and you can't ask that question, this question I'm going to say, but I would ask them, like, what is the thing that you want me to dive deep in the most? Because for me, it is the prototype, and you just kind of like flew on by. Like you had 5 minutes left, you flew by the prototype, and I get it, nerves are nerves, but like my favorite part is looking at this and like the thing before this, the wireframes before these. So what I do whenever I am doing presentations is I will ask, like, do you want me to focus on research or ideation or prototype more, so that I know like where their interests lie for this job opportunity. And if it's like research, like I don't want to skip the research, but like a lot of times I'm hiring for a UX designer, so I don't necessarily need as much information about research as much as like how you got these done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. The other thing I would say about this is I have ADD. I can't look at all these GIFs at one time. So I would spread them out, or I would make just a clickable prototype that you can click through. On my site, I actually do a video of the prototype, and I verbalize over it so that someone doesn't have to interview me to know I can present an app. So I would recommend, at least in the deck, splitting those out by 3 pages. I would also put good money on those GIFs are the reason that this deck is so slow, just because they're so big, right? Like they're just, loading time is amazing. So yeah, I would consider breaking those out just so that I could focus on one thing at a time as the person viewing it. Yeah, I have questions about so is it like V1 English and Spanish at the top for that toggle? Or did I pick Spanish as my secondary? Or like, how does that toggle come to be as it relates to the second language?
So basically, we went with a Spanish toggle because most of the people that we interviewed were Spanish. Most of the American immigrants that we did interview were Spanish, but that's something that we want to iterate on in the future. So that's why just for now, just to make it like super easy to switch between languages when you're going through product pages or any kind of information that you quickly need to understand, then we have a quick toggle between English and Spanish. But that's still something that we're working on to make it more accessible to everybody.
Okay. I think I've been thinking about why it bothers me that it's in the top header. And I think it's because as a user, I probably changed that language once a session. And it's kind of in this very top priority place that shows up next to the search, and like the search ends up in different places on different pages. Like there's one where the ENES is like to the right of the search. point being, perhaps that is solved in a way that is like when you log in, it asks you, hey, what language do you want to be in? And then they can just pick it, and it doesn't have to be around all the time because it's taking up like precious space. I originally thought maybe turn off cart, but I think you should keep cart. So I would just think about that a little bit and have a good answer for like why it's in such a priority space. When I think that the user would probably use it once a session, maybe once a week, maybe less. I had questions about the difference between discover and search. What is the difference?
So Discover is basically a tailored page where it could show something like recently viewed or picked for you, while Search is just basically another place where they could easily just we kept the search bar at the top for both just because we felt like it's such a crucial feature, because if they're looking for something, they may want to search for it right away.
Yep. I would consider putting those on the same page and then putting cart where search is, so that your like major things are all together, and then your like language thing could feasibly live up there and be fine. I would be concerned about fat fingering the cart and the ENS. Like it's just, there's not a lot of space right there, and I might accidentally hit something by accident because it's just kind of small. I do understand like the difference between the two, but I think you could get away with V1 having the search there. And I think people would understand that they're searching their entire catalog, not just like their Discover space.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. How often? Oh, okay. Sorry, I did these out of order. Did you do a competitive analysis? I missed if you showed that.
Yes, we did. It was slide 6. We mostly just showed the insights that we got rather than listing out the competitors, because to be honest, there weren't a whole lot of like one-stop shopping apps for healthcare products. So we looked at more like indirect or like indirect competitors, like Amazon or Shop.
Got it.
And also, when we were doing our competitive analysis, we wanted to see healthcare as a whole and really see all e-commerce platforms, to see a lot of e-commerce platforms that do healthcare and really see what are the needs and where are they coming from, and see what kind of target audience do they have, just to get an overview of what we want to do and what we want to get out of it. And most of it is and then we move to something that we want to make. And then while creating an e-commerce, we searched for a lot of, we looked at Amazon, we looked at Walmart, we looked at Shein, we looked at Instacart, just different things to get in touch with e-commerce.
Got it. Okay. I would probably I would include this slide, but I would include like who you looked at, because as a hiring manager, I would want to know like how did you identify the competitors / the word you use that I forget now. Basically not directly, but
Analogous.
Thank you.
Analogous, I think.
Thank you. I just can't find my words sometimes. Yeah, I would just show that you like how you picked them and why you picked them, essentially. And then I would just quickly touch on that and then touch on this, because this is definitely a bigger takeaway, but I would like to know how you selected these takeaways. I do use an app that this reminds me a lot of, called Forward. It's like a private healthcare chat bot or chat thing that provides a lot of these features. So I think something like that could be worth looking into as well if you wanted to add it after the fact. Just side note. Oh, I loved the measurable success that y'all showed on the problem statement page. I think it's very helpful to have to understand that you know that you have to measure that success, right? And so I really appreciated that, like, the problem statement was here, and then also like this is how we're going to measure success. I thought that was a really nice show of just like knowing how to do UX. I thought that was nice. As far as the AI chatbot and the UI, I'm sorry to make you jump around the deck so much. But I would consider, if you want that to be essentially a fab, a floating action button on the right side, if it's like a super important feature, yeah, I like this card, but I don't know. I would almost put it in the nav and like combine orders with account, just to be like, this is our number one, like, because it is one of your top features, right? I have discover page, product page, and AI chat bot were your top three, right?
So for orders, that's something that we haven't looked at in a larger view yet. But that was for one of our personas. So two of our personas are the people who rely on reorders,
right?
And like odd shopping for other people. So that was something that that is why we put orders on one of our top nav. We still don't know how that's going to really look for us in the bigger picture, but that's something that we want to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would just consider the arrangement there just to get that fab out. I just have so many bad experiences with a floating action button being on the page like that, just as it relates to future UI and growth and stuff like that. Anyway, I see I'm out of time. Y'all did a great job, especially with the technical difficulties that happens in real life. So I'm just glad that you got to experience here in practice.
And this was Canva, by the way, for anybody who wants to know.
Okay.
Never use Canva for. We were just almost done when we realized it. So we were like, okay, this is what we learned out of this. Never use Canva for big presentations.
I kind of wonder if it's those GIFs though. Like if you took those out, maybe it would be fine. I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you so much, Team 24, for the nice presentation. And also thank you, Slater, again, for the feedback. We got a lot of feedback and takeaway from there. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Team 7, and thank you, Team 24, for the great presentation for today. So we can wrap this up for the second day. And thank you again for joining the event. This is recorded and will be shared on YouTube channel if you want to review it. Thank you all for joining today, and we will see you again tomorrow for the final day of presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, on behalf of IterateUX, we'd like to thank you so much for watching this week's session. If you like the content, please leave a like and subscribe. We'll have events every Thursday at 5:30 Pacific Time. Join our Discord in the description to find out more.